Greetings and salutations. This is Roger bringing you a video for the to celebrate John over at Rock and Metal Plus. He has, he's way past 500 now, but he wanted to celebrate that and wanted us to make a video showing 5 albums and give 5 shoutouts because the number is 5. In the background, we will be listening to Black Sabbath, Iron Man. I just snuck it up there because, you know, Black Sabbath, for me, as many others in my age, was kind of important. This is just one of the many 100 versions of this album, or really cool stuff. Black Sabbath was early for me, but I picked something else for the early stuff. Just get right into it. Of course, congrats to John with his. He's probably going to be on 600 pretty soon. Back in the days, of course, you know, Black Sabbath, AC/DC was important for me back in the days. Back in Black was an album that I played a lot when I was a kid. Deep Purple, Thin Lizzy, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. But I went for Rainbow Rising. This is obviously a reissue from 2014. I just love this. I do have a old tape of it. But just a fantastic album, and Dio's vocals are fantastic. Stargazer is one of my all-time favorite metal songs, and just killer stuff. Very important for me back in the early days. Then, of course, one of the most important bands back in the days, and one of the earliest as well, was Iron Maiden, and this was my first album with Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast, that came out in, was it 82? I think so. This is a reissue from a different year. This is also one that I have on tape originally, but showing vinyl covers is always better, even though tapes are cool. Just fantastic album. It's kind of just have Children of the Damned, Invaders, The Prisoner, Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, Hallowed Be the Name. I mean, it's just killer tracks on this album. So and I was a massive fan of Iron Maiden for a long time. So that was my second pick. When it comes to thrash, there was probably Metallica was probably first, but the first thrash album I think I got into my hands was the one I'm going to show. But there was a lot of good bands there. Also could point out Metal Church, Dark Angel, stuff like that. But I went with Exodus, Bonded by Blood. This is an OG with a little bit tear or seam split. Auto Music for Nations. I just love this album. But as I said, it might have been Metallica, Ride Lightning. That was the first one I heard. But you had so many mixtapes back in the days, or dub tapes, that you kind of, it's hard to remember exactly what you got first into the collection or not. But great album by Exodus, one of my favorite thrash bands back in the days as well. So when it comes to black metal, I could have picked out Venom and black metal, but that's kind of the song black metal, which was very instrumental for me back in the days, with kind of going towards rougher music. I would say even that black metal song almost put me onto thrash in a way, but that album was not like, I didn't think about this black metal, but this album, Battery, Bloodfire, Death, this is the kind of transition album from black metal to the Viking metal, so we got a good variety of songs here, and this is just a killer album. I don't remember when this came out. doesn't really matter, but 88. So yeah, that was just then you kind of discover the harsh vocals or the kind of more extreme side and kind of a little bit unstruct or not the same structure that I was used to, kind of a little bit wilder and rougher sounding music. And batteries, yeah, don't have to say much about it. The same goes with death metal, you know. I don't remember what was the first death metal album I bought. I had a ton of death metal albums on dub tapes, but one of the first I bought myself was this one, you know, Death, Leprosy. And Death was, of course, one of the biggest and one of the first bands that I heard in this genre. But yeah, so killer album, still killer album, and very important. I think Death is one of the kind of the. I think John had the Scream Bloody Gore. Scream Bloody Gore was actually my third death metal, but or death album, but. Yeah, I picked up Leprosy and then Spiritual Healing. So 5 shoutouts. I didn't prepare shoutouts, but I would like to see Steve S&T Young and yeah, what's his name over at Mercyful Metal. I would like them to get up to 1,000 subscribers just for fun. They have a kind of a competition. They are very equal. I would also give a shout out to Geoff over at Gas Mask and Hand Grenades, because he does a lot of cool streams. Has a long interviews with bands and artists as well. Yeah, he does a fantastic job with them. I mean, the interviews are very long and you have to kind of cut them up in 3 to watch them, but that doesn't matter because it's very kind of yeah, he puts a lot of time into it, time and effort, and I really do appreciate the stuff he's done, you know, with you know, Schaefer from Atheist and Eva from Enslaved, and also Drag Chandler from Esoteric has been on there a couple of times. Did a great stream with some of the English lads as well. So yeah, to last one I will also take though you know, Marty Worm and Alan over at HeavyMetallurgy. It's also a great channel that do a lot of good stuff and have started with reviews as well as you know, the normal album dissection and the you know, normal Friday stream that I do. The last one, top of my head, let's give one out to Trevor Hickey as well. He's a very cool guy, so I like watch his videos as well. So that was my shout outs. Hope you enjoyed this, John, and congrats once more. And yeah, you're soon to 600, so congrats once more. Vi kjøst.